I'm joined today by Dr. Lewis Thomas, and he is an accredited life coach and former GP based in Manchester. He runs a coaching program called the Empowerment Clinic, offering one-to-one online coaching for healthcare professionals that are seeking clarity and actionable steps towards career change. Drawing from his own experience of transitioning out of medicine due to disillusionment and its impact on his health, Lewis is passionate about empowering others in healthcare to create authentic alternative careers and gain the freedom to live life on their own terms. So, hi, thanks for joining me today, Lewis.
Hi, Emma. How are you doing? Thanks for
I'm
having
okay,
me.
thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be here and chat about everything.
Yeah. Okay, so if we start off then by, if you could just tell me what led you to go into being a doctor?
Oh, okay. So I wanted to be a doctor mainly because of having sickle cell anemia. So that was something that kind of put me in hospital as a child, and made me realize the importance of the job that doctors do in terms of looking after people, helping people, but also wanting the knowledge to be able to help myself and, really understand medicine. So I would say that is the main reason, obviously, just being interested in science and general as well. And, it being considered like a prestigious, well-respected career, I guess, that you just kind of like get onto that path and you don't really have to worry about much more for the rest of your life.
Okay. And do you want to tell me a little bit about how you led to the career change?
Yeah, so having said that the sickle cell got me into medicine, it's also kind of the main reason that I had to change. So when I started working as a junior doctor, in my F1 year, there was just so much stress and pressure from the job that my health took a turn, and I started to have more sickle cell crises, which are just painful joint and bone pain all over, and that was happening more frequently than it usually did. So it meant that I was basically having to live my life in a way that was sort of reducing the quality to avoid getting unwell. And then at the same time, working in a system that was just, understaffed and high pressured, and put me in situations that really, like working nights and long shifts and just not being able to take part in normal kind of like society and doing things that all my friends and family and just going to gatherings and stuff like that. So it all just kind of built up over time. I think what kept me going was wanting to complete like training and get to the end. I'm very sort of I'm quite disciplined and focused when it comes to finishing things that I've started. So that was kind of like the start of my disillusionment, and it just kind of grew more and more over the years until I actually qualified as a GP. And I thought immediately, this isn't what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. Like, I'm not going to retire doing this job. So yeah, my career change really was over quite a few years after I qualified, trying to figure out what I really wanted to do with my life, because I knew what I didn't want to do, but I didn't know what I did want to do. So I locumed as a GP since qualification, and that was actually something that was a lot better than the kind of regular salaried work I'd been doing as a GP trainee, because I was able to really control jumping in and out of the fire in terms of like burnout. So I just like locum for ages, and get burnt out and then just, ease off and have a bit of a holiday. So then eventually I kind of realized that I was going through this pattern and I didn't really have any purpose. I wasn't working towards anything. I got to the top and I wasn't interested in any kind of further career as a general practitioner. So I, one time when I was burnt out, had some life coaching, and I think that was what planted the seed in terms of me experiencing this kind of really open space where I was being listened to and able to really understand my thoughts, and just get everything out. So then later on, I think it was like the following year when I was really kind of like getting to be a bit more stressed again. I had just decided enough is enough. I have to leave. And I was talking to a mentor, it's another older GP that was doing a lot of work outside of medicine. And he suggested being a life coach. And then it was kind of like immediately everything connected together, the experience that I had of working with a life coach, and then also the aspect of being a GP that I really enjoyed and loved, which was coaching people who want to get better and, are motivated to change their lives. So it was kind of one of those epiphany moments where I was just like, yes, that's exactly it. I finally got the answer. It's kind of been coming over years and years, but like it just happened there. So that was kind of what led to my career change. And I guess like if you want to know sort of what happened from there, I can tell you, but I don't want to talk too much.
No, carry on. What's happened since you've made that decision?
So I started this life coaching diploma at the same time as I was locuming as a GP, and I was coaching people for the diploma, and then also kind of trying to coach people in this GP 10-minute appointments as well. So I really sort of started to see the patterns in people that were really feeling this disillusionment and not enjoying the jobs or the lives that they had, and being afraid of kind of taking control and realizing that they had the power to change. So a lot of the coaching that I was doing was based on that, on helping people realize their own power and really kind of, go for what they want and not limit themselves because of the past or because of, barriers that they have the power to overcome. Eventually, I completed the diploma after about a year, and then that was July 2024. And then after that, I just decided that I was going to start my own coaching business because I really felt like I just needed the freedom to do my own thing and work the way I wanted to work. So it took a lot of work on myself to get the kind of courage and confidence to do that, because I talk a lot as well about medicine being this, safe, secure career path that is very kind of difficult to leave because there's so much stigma and judgment, people saying, oh, you're so brave for leaving. I could never do this. And it's kind of seen as, a bit like crazy in the fact, like, why would you leave such like a respectable, like safe career like medicine to go and do something so risky? So yeah, mindset came into it a lot for me in terms of strengthening my mindset and resolve to, really do that and overcome the imposter syndrome and decide that I did have the skills to be a good coach, and I can grow and learn and just transfer all of the experience and skills that I have to grow a business. So yeah, I would say like the biggest part of my journey has just been that mindset in terms of figuring all of that out, and then the rest really is just a case of time, and just consistency in terms of doing the work. So that's where I am now.
Yeah. And as a fellow NHS escapee who's been through similar with that, you've been very brave. I couldn't do that. It's, I don't know how you found it adjusting to having time to think because it's like I can put buffer times in between my appointment slots, and I
Yeah.
can set aside time just for, okay, I'm going to plan what I'm going to do this week. How have you find adjusting to that?
Yeah, it's great having that sense of freedom and
Mhm.
control. I remember when I'd finished for the day, one day after kind of I started, and just saying to my wife, I can't believe how much I've enjoyed just spending an hour talking to someone. Well, not talking, but like listening to someone, and
Yeah.
how much I actually like the people that I'm working with,
Mm.
and like helping them grow and get better. And it was just like this sense of fulfillment that I didn't get as a GP, because it was just too rushed.
Yeah.
It was just frantic.
Mm.
Whereas, you can really slow down and get to the sort of core of people.
I know that a lot of the listeners will be people who are possibly GPs or other doctors or healthcare professionals. If any of the listeners that were thinking this isn't really for me anymore, should I leave? Shouldn't I leave? Have you got any kind of advice that you'd give to them?
I think that uncertainty is really difficult to deal with. But I think the best thing is to not distract yourself from it, to embrace it. And I think you really have to try and commit to just doing some small actions that move you like one step closer to finding the clarity in terms of answering what is for me. This isn't for me, but like what is for me. So it's trying new stuff out, trying stuff that you've not done before or not considered, and also talking to other people that are doing different things, because that social pressure of just being in the same environment with the same people that are doing the same things is just going to keep you stuck from actually like taking action. So try and do very small things just to give yourself like a bit of experience in a different area. Don't try and do like something like massive. And also just connect with people who can inspire you and encourage you.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's really good advice to take those little steps rather than make it more overwhelming.
Yeah, I think we always kind of assume that like, oh, medicine's not right for me. I need to make a change, and that has to happen like now. So I need to know exactly what I'm going to do. Otherwise, people are just going to be on me, criticizing me for leaving and failing. And it's just not how it works. You you have to try and do it over a longer period of time and in small incremental steps.
Mm.
So that would be my advice, to make it easier
Yeah,
for yourself.
rather than just ripping the rug from under you.
Yeah. It's because if you go in with that mindset, like, oh, I just need to change like overnight, it's just too overwhelming, and you just end up doing nothing. Whereas if you
Mm.
try lots of different things, knowing that it might not be for you, and that's okay, and it might not work out, and that's okay. But you have to try in order to have the actual experience.
Yeah, definitely. And because I did the coaching diploma myself, so it's a great job to do, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can make absolutely massive changes in people's lives. And I think what you're doing is amazing as well, using your experience to help other people.
Yeah, like I kind of started with this from starting writing online about a year ago, and that was like my kind of therapy in a way. Like no one was reading it, and I was just I was so scared about sharing like authentic stuff about myself. Um, but I just practiced doing it, like just writing this weekly newsletter, and it really helped me to sort of get comfortable in terms of like sharing my experiences and talking about the process of changing from medicine to life coaching. um, and I did it because I wanted to encourage other people like me to do it, because I was absolutely terrified of social media and being seen and all of that stuff. But I'm not anymore, and it's like if I
Mm,
can do it, then anyone can do it.
absolutely. And I think for people who work in healthcare, this is why I'm kind of doing this podcast. It's the not being able to admit that there's something wrong and that you're struggling, and I think if more people did, more people would realize they're not on their own, rather than
Yeah,
feeling like they're the only one.
yeah. I feel it can be very isolating because people want to appear like they are, coping, even though, the environment is just not very conducive to being good, being okay. Yeah, it's you have to sort of learn how to express that you're not okay, and that the environment that you're working in is not good for you. Because in medicine, and healthcare, like it's kind of that competitive environment where you're comparing yourself to people, and you're constantly trying to like meet some kind of like standard, because that there's so many people that want to be a doctor and have this job, and that kind of like is conditioned into you, so that you you never really kind of think about actually leaving. You might complain a lot and recognize that the conditions aren't great, but when it comes to like actually leaving and like saying, this is I can't cope, like I'm admitting that kind of like weakness is really hard. But it's not
Mm,
weakness, it's just being authentic and expressing vulnerability and acknowledging something that everyone else feels, and just
yeah,
acknowledging that you're human, everyone is human. Like we all want to feel joy and happiness and health. And yeah, it's if you're not feeling that,
yeah,
then it's okay for medicine to just not be for you. You don't have to force yourself
mm,
to enjoy it.
yeah. And it's one of those things as well. You can have an idea about what a career is going to be like, but until you're actually doing it, you don't know.
Yeah. And that's what it was like for me. Like I experienced it and I changed my mind, and then I was like, oh, it's too much effort to like actually change now. So I just have to like see this through until some kind of miracle happens, like some miracle job appears, and I can go off and do that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that didn't happen. So I had to
yeah.
eventually get to do it myself.
I suppose it's difficult as well if you've invested a lot of time and money into getting there.
Yeah. There's some cost fallacy is a difficult thing to overcome. So that sort of investment that you make, you feel like if you leave medicine, it's just all going to be for nothing, and you're going to have like lost everything that you've put in. But actually, you know, if you're missing out on a positive experience outside of medicine, and you're missing out on the ability to grow and reach your true potential outside of it. So yeah, there's so much to gain from trusting your gut intuition and just trying.
Yeah. Would you say there's an element of guilt as well? Because I know I felt that when I left. It's like I'm like leaving all these patients, I'm like letting them down and going working with people who are paying me, and these people can't afford to pay me. And
Mm,
did you
yeah,
ever like experience that?
yeah, definitely. I think that stopped me from acting for a long time as well,
Mm,
because we go into medicine because we want to help people, and because we believe that we're good people, and being a doctor means that we're a good person. If we're not a doctor, then who are we? Um,
mm,
so I did feel guilty, and I think a lot of people do. But then part of what changed, I think, was the sickle cell. So having to deal with my own health condition and, you know, experience physical pain as well as all of the stress.
mm,
It got to a point where I was like, actually, I feel bad, but not bad enough to continue to punish myself. And, I
yeah,
have to look after my own health as well. So,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And I think that's where healthcare professionals struggle is self first
Yeah, yeah,
because it's that conditioning to help other people first.
mm,
Mm,
yeah. It's
that,
like we're martyrs in a way.
yeah.
We kill ourselves because we want to make sure everyone else is kind of looked after first.
Mm,
Um, but it's not sustainable.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we have to look at who are we going to help now as well. We're going to help lots of people.
yeah. It's having that bigger impact, isn't it?
Mm,
And sort of having that belief that when you're happy and healthy, you can perform your best.
mm,
So I would much rather be in a job and profession where I'm happy and fulfilled and healthy, and I can actually, you know, have a really positive impact on people and feel that,
mm,
rather than just be in a situation where I'm dying and, just really suffering, but trying to appear as though I'm some kind of hero.
mm,
And it's just like very like false. I think for me personally, when I was doing that, working as a GP, fighting the good fight, but like inside, I was like, I don't actually feel like I'm getting any fulfillment out of this because it's so stressful, and the system is designed in a way that I'm not able to work in the way that I want and actually help people overall, looking at the bigger picture. So I'd rather be somewhere where I feel like I am actually helping people and I am actually in control, and I can see that people are getting better.
yeah. Rather than 10 minutes. Mm.
Yeah, it's madness. But I guess like that's the thing with the NHS. Like it's set up and designed for a certain type of person who's able to work like that, and
Mm,
obviously they would do that to save money, but it creates this standard that, like, just because some people are able to consult very quickly, that it means everyone has to match that standard, and it's something that has just persisted, even though a lot of things have changed in terms of the complexity of patient problems and the number of appointments, and there's so many things that are different and have changed, but we still are trying to stick to this same system that is now just breaking apart.
Yeah, and I think as well there's an element of, okay, we're going to chop a bit of time off. Oh, you're managing that, okay? We'll chop a bit more time off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like we're victims of our own success. So no matter how good you're doing, it's just going to end up getting worse.
Yeah. If anyone out there is thinking, do you know what, I'm going to explore a career change and they want to work with you, what's the best way that they can contact you?
So I am on LinkedIn, and they can message me on LinkedIn. I'll send you the link to that. There's also my website, which is just www.drlewisthomas.com. So they can actually just book a free introductory coaching call for 1 hour with me to basically get an experience of coaching and see whether it's something that can help them with the problem that they have.
Right, okay, and I'll share the links. Right, lovely speaking to you. So I will say goodbye now, and I'll be back next week for the listeners. And thanks for coming, Lewis.
Thank you for having me, Emma.